And meet the driver, Stéphane Ratel. Hello, Stéphane.
Hello.
Thank you to be here with us today.
Thank you for being with us.
How your passion for speed started?
I started liking cars when I was around 18 years old. Before I didn't care. Before I could eventually buy one. And the moment I could buy one, I started looking at them. And it went on ever since. I come from the world of liking cars, not racing cars. I started with the Golf GTI, which was the thing at the time. And then I went on to a Porsche and to a Ferrari and to a Lamborghini. So I was very lucky to drive very fast cars, very young. And I only started racing some years ago when I started working in motorsport.
You're a figure in motorsport.
I'm the founder and CEO of the SRO Motorsports Group. We developed GT racing for 35 years.
So you became a driver while you were the CEO or before?
Before creating my own company, I was working for a company, the name Venturi, and I was in charge of motorsport. And that, at that moment,
that's why you became addicted.
That's the moment I started driving. More of a test driver for the company. And then we started a race program with Venturi cars, and it was a very small operation. There were no test drivers, so I started testing for the development of the car. And at that moment that I started racing. And then we started developing GT racing from the mid-90s.
And which was the main idea?
Our ambition is to regenerate GT racing and transform it to bring it to a far larger and maybe younger fan base.
The main idea, the idea I've had ever since, was to say that we've put back the sports cars doing sports. Because for 10 years, from the late 70s to the 90s, what we call sports cars, the Porsche, the Ferrari, the Lamborghinis, were not racing. Lamborghini never raced, but the other one were in the 70s, and then
was
they stopped
just beautiful
racing.
Cars.
Beautiful cars. They were good to go in nightclubs and look beautiful, but they were not doing any sports. So we contributed to relaunch GT racing in the mid-90s with a series named the BPR series.
Very interesting.
And in that series, we had races very early. We organized the first ever race in the People's Republic of China in Zhuhai in 1994, and also we were going to Japan. So when we had a lot of cars, a lot of drivers, and it was long distance races, some drivers thought, we only need two drivers, we need a third one. I was invited here and there to race, and that's how I started to race, and I raced quite a lot in the mid-90s, and it was good.
Can we say that you still race?
Yeah, I stopped for 20 years. I really stopped for 20 years until from 2001 to 2021. And during COVID, I'd moved to Rome by the time, and I was stuck in the building during COVID, like we were all. And by coincidence, my neighbor was also a driver in GT and had a GT team. Yes, Luca Piri. So with Luca, we're the same. So we said, why don't you come and we do a bit of sim racing? So we started doing sim racing together. And then we said, I was launching this new category named GT2. And I had a car that I was supposed to rent to a team, and then the team didn't do it. And I had the car, and I said, why don't we go and run with your team together? So in 2021, I went back to racing, and ever since, I'm very busy with my racing business. So I only do 2-3 races a year, but I have fun.
There is Ratel, closing on Rustica. He might actually catch him before the very end, because he's brought the gap down to 2.8 seconds. His Audi is charging along behind the Porsche and closing fast.
Can we say that you know all the little pieces of motorsport from one part to the other? So from the organization to be the driver?
Yeah, I think I've done, in motorsport, I've done, I haven't
360 degrees.
Been a mechanic, but from test driving to owning a team, to organizing a one-make series, to building up championships, to promoting events, it's a very complete business. You deal, first of all, we work with the whole world. In our group, we organize more than 50 events a year on 5 continents.
Now we are in GT World Series Europe.
Yes.
To organize. For the people that still don't know, what is a GT World?
GT World is a global competition Grand Touring car and doing a mix of sprint and endurance racing. So we have a champion in Europe. You have 10 races, 5 of them are endurance, 5 of them are sprints. And we have the same thing we have the same GT World Series in Australia, in Asia, and in America. Altogether, we have 120 GT3 cars, which represent 10 manufacturers, and these 10 manufacturers are entered in the championship, scoring points through the teams they have in each series, which avoid all the headaches of logistics, all the cost, and all the emissions of transporting cars around the world. We're basically on carbon footprint, despite we have 6, 8, 10 cylinders, we are our carbon footprint has to be lower than Formula E. I think our concept is very good and it's quite successful.
Thank you so much to be so passionate about speed and motorsport, because you can transmit your love for motorsport.
I never met a driver who say, "Oh, I was not interested anymore." And there is this old saying that I like very much, which is, you don't stop racing because you're old, you get old when you stop racing. And I think it's very true, because racing is a huge motivation to stay fit. It's a huge motivation to, and I think I will race as long as I can.
And I would love to see you racing and give this example of love for speed.
I was at Le Mans. We have this new series called GT3 Revival.
Okay.
But when you've been doing this
Revival
business,
for the old cars.
Yeah, when you've been doing this business like me for 35 years, the cars you were racing,
No, come on.
but it's the truth. They become historic. So now, I have to say that the cars we were racing from 35 years to 20 years ago now are
vintage,
historics, and so we created a series for this historic car, which is called the GT3
in Le Mans.
Revival
It's
Series,
amazing.
and we did Le Mans Classics last weekend, and it was really good to be back. I did Le Mans. I raced at Le Mans in '94 at the 24 Hours of Le Mans, so I was very glad to be back.
Can we say that your favorite circuit is Le Mans?
The one I love the most, because that's the one where I had the best result in my life, where I finished second of the 1,000 kilometers of Suzuka. I love Suzuka. I haven't raced at Suzuka since then, but I think Suzuka is one of my very favorite circuits. Of course, Spa is phenomenal. The likes of Bathurst, is incredible. And of course, the big track at Le Mans is among probably my four
Number
favorite.
one, Suzuka.
My four. It's a personal thing, because it's the only time where I really scored a result that worth talking about.
Thank you so much for being with us today, and see you in the next episode of Meet the Driver.